passion is painful. And only people with thick skin can follow their passion. I got very disciplined and it's so much motivation. I always knew that if I find something I like, I give it my all, but I didn't ever think that itna zyada discipline or motivation aa jayega to the extent that like push that you give yourself, I didn't think I had it. I would say that my biggest weakness was taking too much tension about everything. I found myself being overly competitive. Instagram kholte, like I would feel terrible about what I'm doing. I would say one thing that a situation is what you make of it with your reaction or your perception. It's all about your perception or perspective. So you can't change situations, right? But you can definitely change how you process them. That's so important.
What's good, everybody? Another super special entrepreneurship based interview. I'm with one of my most motivated friends in life, that's Sejal Kumar. For those of you who don't know about her YouTube channel, she runs one of India's first biggest personality based YouTube channels, and she's also launched her own clothing line recently. She's about to cross 1 million subs on her YouTube channel. She's killing it on social media. She's killing it in the world of business. And I thought, let's bring Sejal on to Be Her Biceps to share some of her business gyan, some of her YouTube gyan. So firstly, Sejal, thank you for being on the video today.
Thanks for having me.
So I just want to bring your story out there today. Genuinely, I feel like you're one of the most motivated people I've come across in my life. But is money a motivation? Is fame a motivation? Is growth in business a motivation?
Okay, I'm an eco student. I'm from SRCC. So my college actually made me a very practical and competitive person, and I'm very happy about that because life में practicality बहुत ज़रूरी है. And मैं day one से I always said this, that I look at my YouTube channel as a business. It's a creative business. So of course money is very important. I know money doesn't buy happiness, but I want to be in a place where I'm comfortable. And also make sure my parents are comfortable. That's very important to me. So that's one thing, and also like growing my business just gets me very excited.
Yeah. That's the true entrepreneurial vibe.
Making a cool creative video is one thing, and then like I think growing a business is also a super creative thing, like coming up with ideas and strategies. It's like really interesting.
See, but I also feel that finding your own path in this world of YouTube, that's the beauty of this job, because we grew up aiming for conventional careers, economics, engineering, whatever. We never knew that we're going to end up in YouTube. And now we're figuring things out ourselves. So this is a huge form of entrepreneurship that's possible for kids born in the early 90s, I feel. Now, what is your advice for kids born in the late 90s who are just going to enter the professional world? Because the professional world has changed a lot in the last 5-6 years. We've been a part of that change. There's a lot of things that possibly our generation has learned that previous generations, people even 5-6 years older than us, wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
So what's your biggest advice to those kids who are just entering the professional world now?
Whenever I go and interact in a college crowd or whatever, people just always talk about the job that they want to do, or they want to be in this company at this position, but nobody really talks about the work that they want to do. I think it's really important to collect skills rather than aiming for positions or a certain
pay package.
Pay package. So I mean, you can aim for it, fine, like you have different aims, but I think the most efficient way to become conventionally successful is to just have a bunch of skills and something that you are really good at. So I think the most important thing when you're looking for what your passion is or what you want to do is not the job or like where you'll end up. It's about gathering skills. Because if you have that skill base, then I'm sure you'll find something to do and you'll be valuable. So I think 10 or 20 years from now, all the jobs in the market are going to be such that don't even exist right now. So what do you do if you know that fact, right? You make sure what you're learning, you do it well, because change the hone wala hai scenario, but if you know something well, you'll find a way to do it. We can edit videos. I'm pretty sure we'll be like good at editing something that's required in the market later.
Possibly 10 years from now, we'll be editing virtual reality content.
Yeah. So like learn stuff basically.
What has your college life taught you that you're actually using in your work today?
A lot of things actually. Now I realize that my college is a commerce college, so it taught me firstly to be really competitive in a good way now, like you have to be, right? And also my college was full of like all these like people who are super successful in like consulting and banking. So it's made me like good with business things, good with negotiating.
Just by talking to people? Like you've picked up skills from people?
Yeah. And also like networking with people, and also just like how to just be around people who are successful and like really big.
And is there any misconception that you had while you were in college, which when you came out in the big bad world, things completely weren't like that? Things weren't like what you were expecting?
One thing that I wasn't expecting was how I would react to stress, and because I never thought of myself as a person who would take stress. I was so chill out in college. So that's something I learned about myself.
Has your work affected any aspect of your life negatively?
My peace, yeah, I used to be very irritable at home, fights with my friends, and in general, you're just taking out your frustration.
Okay, so you said that, you were going through like a bad phase 6 months back. And mental health is something that's, really common now all over the world, really, not just in India. But especially in Indian metros, we're seeing a lot of kids who are dealing with mental health issues. What is your biggest advice to people like that who are going through their own mental health issues?
So the first thing is that if it's work related, you shouldn't define your happiness with your goals. So important. It needs to be two separate things. And whether you're doing badly at work or if you're doing really, really well to it, cannot affect your ego or your morale. And also, second thing that I'd say, that if you are going through something, it's really important to introspect. And after you observe your behavioral patterns, you will find things that trigger you, and you will find things that make you anxious or make you sad, and it's really important to know what exactly those reasons are, so that you can work on either distancing yourself from the situations, or for me, I found myself being overly competitive. Instagram kholte, like I would feel terrible about what I'm doing, and that happens to everyone, right? Like Instagram is over glamorized version of everyone's life. I'll give you an example. So I wanted to act in a web series starting say, and while I was doing that, I would go on Instagram and see other people doing well and feel bad. Can you believe it? Like while I was already pursuing my dream, I felt bad about not doing anything. That's ridiculous.
I feel one of the traits of ambitious people or people who, goal getters is that they get to their goals, then once they're living that dream that they've dreamt for themselves, they forget that, oh wait, I've achieved this, and then look towards something else. Like every time you've achieved something, you want to go one level higher.
I would say one thing, that a situation is what you make of it with your reaction or your perception. It's all about your perception or perspective. So you can't change situations, right? But you can definitely change how you process them. That's so important.
So one thing that's really helped me personally recently is, and I'm going to say this straight up, I've like cut off people from my life. Like if I felt like someone was causing a little bit of negativity or, was negative in any kind of way in my life, I just distance myself from them. Have you gone through a phase like that where you've done that with people?
Yeah, especially like I said, social media, like looking at other people's lives really troubled me a lot. So I stopped doing that altogether. And to be honest, I don't watch like my whoever like makes a similar content in India. I just don't watch it. I don't want it to be about tracking other people. Usne ye bana to main bhi kal ye banaungi. Don't want to get into that.
If you can go back to that phase where you did do that, like where you went through someone else's content, what used to go on in your head?
If I thought that something was really good, I would feel like, shit, that's good. Like, shit, that's good. But it would always be like this very competitive thing that, oh shit, mujhe bhi banana hai, isse better banana hai, and I want to win this race. It was always about that. And if something was not good, I would feel good about it, like my stuff is better. That's such a bad place to be in. If I feel myself that, oh shit, like if I'm going back into a similar pattern, I just don't do it, and don't get into that space again. So that's one thing, really cool advice I heard this year. You have to make sure you're creating more than you consume. Now I'll explain what this means. I actually heard it from someone else on YouTube. So all of us find ourselves on our phone so much, right? And if you take a day, for example, you're on your phone all day. At the end of the day, you'll feel like shit, like kya ho gaya, and you feel so negative and so bad. But if that day is like, say, 25% of you consuming other people's information and other information in general, and 75% is you actually doing something, creating something. By creating, I mean even if you go to office and do some work, you'll feel so good, right? Like it's a nice balance. So always make sure you're creating more than you consume.
So I feel like, I met you a couple of years back, and you've changed a lot as a person. I feel even you've grown up a lot, so have I.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, after you've experienced the professional world for 3 years, what do you think are the 3 biggest skills you need to succeed in this big bad world of Indian business?
Okay, the first one I would say is to be calm, because so many challenges will come your way. Things that you plan will never go right.
Being calm during storms when things go south.
And also, my dad told me that always respond. Like whenever anything happens, take a second and then say what you have to. Because say if you're dealing with someone who's your employee, that person makes a mistake. Human error possible hota hai, but in your anger, you don't want to say something that will spoil your relation. And also, you know, it's not a big deal, but you need to be mature enough to just respond to a situation very calmly. That's when you know you're a leader and you're actually capable of handling something. The third thing I would say is networking. Now, I know networking is a very misconstrued term कि मैं तो contacts बनाने जा रहा हूँ. This is a very due thing. I think my opinion on this is that be genuine, okay? And if you are meeting someone and if they feel that genuine connect and also connect, how can you force it on someone, right? Like if you genuinely are interested in someone's work or them as a person, they'll feel it and then they'd want to meet you again. So, and why do you want to force work from someone that you are not really interested in? So just be a genuine person and then networks will happen on their own. So don't force it. And the last thing I would say is just go with the flow. Ho jayega. Like if you believe in yourself, ho jayega.
Keep working and then let life happen.
And also have fun, Like it's not a big deal.
All right. Thank you, Sejal, for being on the interview today. I hope like a lot of young entrepreneurs picked up a lot of points. I'll definitely link Sejal's YouTube channel and her Instagram in the description box. Make sure you check them out. And until next time, guys, thank you, Sejal, for being on the interview. I hope you had fun on it.
Oh, I had a lot of fun.
Okay. And until next time, guys, from Ranveer and the team, we'll see you later.